Hello there. Thanks for stopping by Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode number 66. Robert Max here, and we are returning to APBA Baseball for a continuation of the 1994 Double Elimination Tournament. This is game number 5, which has the 8-seed California Angels traveling to St. Louis to take on the number 4-seed St. Louis Cardinals. This is the first game in the losers bracket. Let's take a quick look at these brackets and see how we got here. So the Angels lost game 1 to the Phillies 13-8, and the Cardinals were taken down by the Tigers in game number 2, 5-4. This is an elimination game. The loser is going to go home. The winner will move on to game 9 and take on the loser of game 8, which is, as you can see up in the winner's bracket, the number 3 Pirates versus the number 2 Twins. So that's where we are right now. For today's game, let's take a look at the starting lineups. We are in St. Louis, so pitchers will bat in this game. Leading off for the Angels, the center fielder Chad Curtis batting second. Third baseman Spike Owen batting third. Right fielder Tim Salmon. Batting fourth, left fielder Jim Edmonds. Batting fifth, first baseman J.T. Snow. Batting sixth, the catcher Chris Turner. Batting seventh, Damian Easley. He's playing second base. Batting eighth, Gary DeScarcina. He's at shortstop. And batting ninth and pitching is Mark Langston. He is a grade D pitcher with an X modifier. For the home Cardinals, leading off in left field, Bernard Gilkey. Batting second, Ozzie Smith at shortstop. Batting third, Greg Jeffries at first base. Batting fourth, Ray Langford in center field. Batting fifth, Todd Zeile. He's at third base. Batting sixth, Mark Whitten. He's in right field. Batting seventh, Geronimo Pena. He's at second. Batting eighth, catcher Tom Pagnozzi. Batting ninth and pitching Vince Palacios. And let's see. As far as speed for the Angels, Chad Curtis is fast, and so is pitcher Mark Langston. For the Cardinals, Bernard Gilkey, Greg Jeffries, and Ray Langford, and also Geronimo Pena. They're all fast. Tom Pagnozzi is rated at slow. Defensively, California is a 41, so that makes them a fielding 1. St. Louis is a 37. That makes them a fielding 2. So, Palacios is ready. Chad Curtis is ready. And we are underway. And that's ripped to third baseman Todd Zeile. He grabs and throws over to Greg Jeffries for out number 1. So 1 down here in the top of the first. That brings up third baseman Spike Owen. And that's a fly to deep center field. Ray Langford's underneath that at the track, makes the catch. And there are 2 away. It's going to bring up right fielder Tim Salmon. 2 outs, nobody on. And we are going to Salmon's second column. And that's a deep fly ball. It's long drive deep to right field. It's over Whitten's head. It's out of here, gone. And a 2-out solo shot. From Tim Salmon puts the Angels on the board, 1-0. 2 outs, nobody on. Left fielder, Jim Edmonds. And that's a routine fly ball to Ray Langford in center field. He squeezes it for the out. And that's the end of the top of the first. But the Angels do score a run on Tim Salmon's solo shot. And after 1/2 inning of play, it's the Angels 1 and the Cardinals coming up to bat. So, Mark Langston comes out, and he's going to face Bernard Gilkey, Ozzie Smith, Greg Jeffries, and if anyone gets on, Ray Lankford. So here we are in the bottom of the first. California leads 1-0. And that's a deep drive to the track. Center fielder Chad Curtis runs that down, and there is one away. Next up for St. Louis, Ozzie Smith. One out, nobody on. And just missed inside, ball 4, so Cardinals have a base runner. With the one-out walk to Smith. So he's on first with one out for Greg Jeffries. And the catcher takes a foul pop. Turner squeezes that off for out number 2. Smith holds at first base. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Man on first for center fielder Ray Lankford. And that's a single to left field, runner to third base. So that's going to put runners on the corners for the Cardinals. Lankford's 2-out single. Let Smith move over to third. And it's first and third for St. Louis with 2 outs. Third baseman Todd Zeal. And it's popped into shallow right field. Tim Salmon's under that, makes a catch for out number 3. The Cardinals threaten, but do not score in the bottom of the first. And after 1 inning of play, it's the Angels 1 and the Cardinals 0. First up for California's JT Snow here in the top of the second. And we got to change the boards around. Yeah, it's way outside for ball 4. So a leadoff walk for JT Snow. Gives the Angels a base runner with nobody out. Snow's on first, and here's Damian Easley. Or excuse me, Chris Turner, catcher. Getting ahead of myself. And that's a pop out to the Wizard at shortstop for out number 1. Snow, of course, holds it first. Now Damian Easley. Man on first with 1 out. And we are going to Easley's second column. And that is a double to right field. Fast runner scores with 2 outs. And Snow is not a fast runner, but he's going to move to third. And Easley's in there with a double. So it's second and third for the Angels with 2 away. And Gary DeScarcina. And where is that card? There we are. Second and third, 1 out. And that's a fly to right fielder Mark Whitten. And Easley is not a fast runner either. That's a fly out to right field for the second out, but that's going to score Snow. And the Angels lead 2-0. Easley holds at second base. And that's going to bring up pitcher Mark Langston. Oh, man on second with 2 outs. And we have a 22. And that's a single to center field. It's going to drive in another run. Langston helps his cause. Easley scores, and it's now 3-0 Angels. Back to the top of the order. And Chad Curtis. With pitcher Mark Langston on first. 2 outs. And that's a ground out to second baseman Geronimo Pena. He fires over to Greg Jeffries for the 3rd out. But the Angels score 2 in the top of the second. And after 1.5 innings of play, it's the Angels 3 and the Cardinals nothing. Out for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the second will be Mark Whiten, Geronimo Pena, and Tom Pagnozzi. And that's a line drive ripped over Dees Garcina's glove for a base hit. So Whiten's on first, nobody out. Let me double check that. Wasn't sure if there was a steal involved there, but there isn't. So we got Whiten on first, nobody out, and Geronimo Pena. And that's a ground ball to, well, no, I stand corrected because Langston has an X modifier. So on a 52 and a 27. And that's a strikeout. So Pena strikes out, 1 away. That's the first strikeout for Langston. Here's Tom Pagnozzi, Cardinals catcher. And he hits a single to left field, which Edmonds plays. Whiten moves up to second and holds there. So the Cardinals have runners on first and second with 1 out, with pitcher Palacios coming to bat. First and second, 1 out. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Langston. And the second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, and Bernard Gilkey, who flied out to center field his first time up. First and second, 2 outs. We are going to Gilkey's second column. And that is a double to deep left. It's going to score 2. The Cardinals are back in this game. So a 2-out, 2-run double by Bernard Gilkey makes the score 3-2 now in favor of the Angels. So we got a man on second with 2 outs for Ozzie Smith. Smith walked his first time up. But this is a check swing nubber to first baseman JT Snow, and he's going to take that one unassisted. for the third out. But the Cardinals do score 2 here in the bottom of the second. And after 2 innings of play, it's the Angels 3 and the Cardinals 2. Going to the top of the third. And it's going to be Spike Owen, Tim Salmon, and Jim Edmonds for the Angels. And they have a 3-2 lead. That's way outside for ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Spike Owen. So man on first with nobody out for Tim Salmon. He hit a solo shot his first time up back in the first inning. And this time he hits a single to left, and that's going to send Owens over to third base. Bernard Gilkey gets it back into the infield. And the Angels have runners on the corners with nobody out. Oh, nope, hold on. Hold on, I looked at the wrong card. Oh, boy. All right, 25. That's still the same result. So we got runners on the corners with nobody out. And JT Snow coming up to bat. As I get the correct board. Or excuse me, Jim Edmonds coming up to bat. And just misses outside for ball 4, and that's going to load him up. And the Cardinals are going to get some action in their bullpen early. Let's see. It's going to be Rich Rodriguez getting warmed up for St. Louis. Just in case. So the bases are jacked with nobody out. Cardinals are going to bring the infield in. And this has the potential to get out of hand here. Bases loaded, nobody out, JT Snow. And Palacios hits him. Hit by pitch, it's going to knock in a run. And the Angels now lead 4-2. Wheels are falling off for the Cardinals. Bases are still loaded with nobody out. And catcher Chris Turner. The infield is still in. And that is a single to left fielder, Bernard Gilkey. That's going to score 2 runs. And who's on first? JT Snow. He's not slow. But that is going to move Snow over to third. And Turner's going to get an RBI single on that. It's going to score Edmonds and Salmon. And the score is now 6-2. And that's greater than 5 runs in 3 innings. And we still have nobody out. Runners on the corners. And that means Palacios, well, he's already a grade D pitcher. But Rich Rodriguez is going to come in. So, day's over for Palacios. And Rodriguez is coming in relief. And he's going to face Damian Easley. And he's also going to be batting from here on. Okay, Rodriguez is a grade C pitcher with a Y modifier. Grade C, Y modifier. Okay. And we'll insert him into the lineup for Palacios. His day is over. And it'll be Rodriguez. All right. So, got runners on first and third with nobody out. Tough spot for Rodriguez. The Angels now lead 6-2. Infield is still in. 26. And that's hit to the pitcher. He gets the out at first, but that's going to allow Turner to move up to second. So that's going to be Rodriguez to Jeffries for the first out. And Turner moves up to second. And now it's second and third with one out for Gary DeScarcina, the shortstop. All right. Infield still in. 56. And that's a strikeout. Rodriguez gets DeScarcina for the second out. And the Cardinals will put the infield back for pitcher Mark Langston. So second and third, 2 outs. Angels lead it 6-2. And that's another strikeout for Rodriguez. That's his second. He gets out of that jam. But the Angels score 3 in the top of the third, and after 2.5 innings of play, they lead 6-2. All right, leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the third is Greg Jeffries. And he'll be followed by Ray Lankford and Todd Zeile. Nobody on, nobody out. Greg Jeffries. And that's a grounder bobbled by the first baseman, JT Snow, but he's able to get to the bag before Jeffries to make the play unassisted. And there's one away here in the bottom of the third. Next up is Ray Lankford. Lankford singled his first time up, but was left stranded. And that is a great play by shortstop Gary DeScarcina. Makes a diving stop, gets up, fires over to JT Snow for the second out. And there are 2 away in the bottom of the third. That brings up third baseman Todd Zeile. Zeile flew out to center field his first time up. And this time he strikes out. That is strikeout number 2 for Mark Langston. And the Cardinals go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third. And after 3 innings of play, they trail the Angels 6-2. Back to the top of the order for the Angels here in the top of the fourth. Chad Curtis, Spike Owen, Tim Salmon. And that's a high hopper fielded by Ozzie Smith, who throws over to Greg Jeffries for out number 1 here in the fourth. And there's 1 down. Third baseman Spike Owen. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And that's way outside for ball 4. He draws his second walk of the game. So Owen's on first base with 1 out. And Tim Salmon, who is 2 for 2 with a home run his first time up. And on first, 1 out. Oh, but this time he grounds it to third baseman Todd Zeile, who makes the play at second base to retire Owen for the second out. And Salmon's on base for the third time, but this time it's a fielder's choice. So there's a man on first with 2 outs, and Jim Edmonds. Edmonds is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And this time he strikes out. That's strikeout number 3 for Rodriguez. And the A's get a few, or excuse me, the Angels get a few runners on base, but do not score. And after 3.5, they lead 6-2. Leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th is Mark Whitten. And he'll be followed by Geronimo Pena and Tom Pagnozzi. 65. And that's popped near the dugout. Turner's underneath that and makes the catch for out number 1. In foul territory, that catch was made near the dugout. Here's Geronimo Pena. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. This time, he struck out by a nasty breaking pitch from Langston. Or no, excuse me, that's not true. It's a line drive ripped over the shortstop Dis Garcina's glove and into left field for a 1-out single. I apologize for that from Pena. So the Cardinals have a man on first with 1 out, and catcher Tom Pagnozzi coming to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Pagnozzi singled and scored a run, so he's 1 for 1. 1 out, man on first. But this time, it's a slow ground ball to Dis Garcina. And there's only one play that he has, and that's to first base. That's going to allow Pena to move up to second. But they do record the second out on Pagnozzi. Dis Garcina to JT Snow. All right. Rich Rodriguez, he's going to bat. The man on second now. And 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Yeah, that's a 45. And just missed. Rodriguez draws the walk. So now the Cardinals have first and second with 2 outs. Don't like to give up those 2-out walks, especially to the opposing pitcher. But the Cardinals, see if they can get something going here. They have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And we're back to the top of the order. And Bernard Gilkey, he is 1 for 2 with a double. Fastball tails too far and hits Gilkey. Hit by pitch. The bases are now loaded. So Rodriguez moves up to second. Pena moves over to third. Cardinals have the bases loaded with 2 outs for Ozzie Smith. Can Smith come through to at least chip away at this lead a bit? Bases loaded. 2 outs. And the Wizard at bat. And Langston gets him to strike out. Clutch strikeout for Langston. That is his 3rd. And the Cardinals do not score here in the bottom of the 4th. And after 4 innings of play, they trail the Angels 6-2. Leading off for the Angels here in the top of the 5th is going to be JT Snow. And he'll be followed by Turner and Easley. JT Snow is 0 for 2. He walked and was hit by a pitch. Or excuse me, 0 for 0. And that's a 24. And now he strikes out. That's strikeout number 4 for Rich Rodriguez. It's the first out here in the top of the 5th. 1 out, nobody on for Chris Turner. And that is a chopper past the pitcher Rodriguez and threw into center field for a 1-out base hit. Ray Langford gets it back in. Turner makes the turn, but holds at first base. So we have a man on first with 1 out for Damian Easley. Easley is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And that's a strikeout. Another strikeout for Rodriguez. That's the 2nd out of the inning. And Rodriguez's 5th strikeout. So Turner's on first base with 2 outs for Gary DeScarcina, who is 0 for 2. And it's skied to left field, but no problem for Bernard Gilkey. He's under that. Makes the catch for out number 3. And despite getting a hit, the Angels do not score in the top of the 5th. And after 4.5 innings, they lead the Cardinals 6-2. Leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 5th is Greg Jeffries. He'll be followed by Ray Langford and Todd Zeile. And just misses inside for ball 4, so a leadoff walk for Jeffries. It's his first time on base. So Jeffries is on first with nobody out, and Ray Langford. Langford is 1 for 2. That's a 14. That's a 30. That's a towering fly to left field. Jim Edmonds is under that. Makes the catch. Gets the ball in quickly, and Jeffries holds it first. So there's 1 away. And a man on first for Todd Zeile. Zeile is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And this time he skies 1 to right field. Tim Salmon's under that, makes the catch for out number 2. And Jeffries holds it first. So man on first with 2 away for Mark Whitten, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. And this time he singles to left field. That's going to move Jeffries over to third base. The Cardinals have runners on the corners with 2 outs. And they're still in business. So first and third with 2 outs for Geronimo Pena, who singled his last time up. And that is a crushed fly, ball crushed to deep left. It's over Edmonds' head. It's out of here, gone. A 3-run home run for Geronimo Pena. And the Cardinals are back in this. And now trail 6-5. Langston lowers his head in disgust. But he's staying out there for right now. They lead 6-5. It's 2 outs and nobody on for catcher Tom Pagnozzi. And we're going to his second column. And that is a line drive ripped over the shortstop's glove. That's DeScarcina, and it goes into center field for a 2-out single for Pagnozzi. Cardinals are going to bring up Brian Jordan as a pinch hitter. The man on first base, so pinch hitting is Jordan in the bottom of the 5th. And the day's over for Rodriguez. Cardinals are getting John Habian warming up. All right, so man on first with 2 outs. And pinch hitter Brian Jordan. And Jordan hits it hard to shortstop Dees Garcina. He tosses to second baseman Damian Easley to force Pagnozzi at second for the 3rd out. And see Jordan pinch hit here. And he grounded into a 6-4 fielder's choice for the 3rd out. But the Cardinals do score 3. And after 5 innings of play, it is the Angels 6 and the Cardinals 5. Well, Mark Langsford would be the leadoff batter, but he is coming out of this game, and Harold Reynolds is going to pinch hit for him. Or no, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's going to pinch hit for Langston here in the top of the 6th. And warming up for the Angels is Joe Grahey. And warm up for the Angels and come out and pitch in the bottom of the 6th. So Bo Jackson pinch hitting for Mark Langston, who leaves the game with a 6-5 lead. So 45. And that's way outside for ball 4. So Jackson draws the leadoff walk. Oh, and I did not get the line on Habian. Habian's a grade B pitcher with X and Z modifiers. X and Z modifiers. Okay, so he's the pitcher for the Cardinals. And so Jackson's on first with nobody out, and Chad Curtis. Here in the top of the 6th, the Angels leading 6-5. And that's a strikeout. That's the first strikeout for Habian. And there's one away. So 1 out and a man on first, Spike Owen. And Owen hits a single to right field, and that's going to move Jackson over to 3rd. He's held up there. 3rd time on base for Owen. So the Angels have runners on the corners, and Tim Salmon coming up to bat with 1 out. And that's hit to the pitcher out at first. So Habian tosses over to Greg Jeffries for the out. That's the 2nd out of the inning, but that's going to allow Owen. Oh, wait a minute here. That's going to allow Owen 43-29. No, I apologize for that. That's a strikeout because of the X modifier. So that's the strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Habian. It's the 2nd out of the inning. The runners hold at 2nd and 3rd. All right, 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs now. I apologize for that. Still working out the kinks that I have with the boards and the mechanics of the game, but we're getting there. Okay, Jim Edmonds with runners on 2nd and 3rd. And 2 outs. On 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. All right. So 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs for Jim Edmonds. And it's skied to left field, but it's not deep enough. Bernard Gilkey's under that, near the warning track, makes the catch for out number 3. Angels threaten but do not score. And after 5.5, they lead 6-5. Joe Grayhe's the new pitcher for the Angels. He is a grade D pitcher with a Z modifier. Okay, so first batter he's going to face is Bernie Gilkey here in the bottom of the 6th. All right, so Grayhe needs to replace Langston in the lineup. All right, so we're all caught up there. And leading off is Bernard Gilkey here in the bottom of the 6th. Cardinals trail 6-5. And this slicing drive near the right field gap and a great running catch by Tim Salmon for the first out. Robs Gilkey of extra bases, and there's one away in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Ozzie Smith. And that's a long drive to deep left field, but a great catch made by Jim Edmonds for out number 2. 2 outs and nobody on for Greg Jeffries. Jeffries is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. But this time he pops one in foul territory near the Angels' dugout. And Turner's underneath that, makes the catch. And the Cardinals go quietly and quickly 1-2-3 in the 6th. And after 6 innings of play, it's the Angels 6 and the Cardinals 5. Leading off for the Angels here in the top of the 7th is JT Snow. And that's a strikeout. That is strikeout number 3 for Hobbian. And there's one away. I'm not sure if you pronounce that Hobbian or Habian. All right. 1 out, nobody on Chris Turner. And that is a sharp grounder to the shortstop. Oh, past shortstop Ozzie Smith's glove and into left field for a 1-out single for Chris Turner. So Turner's on first with 1 out and Damian Easley. And it is a ground ball to second baseman Geronimo Pena. He tosses to Ozzie Smith at second. Fires over to first for the 4-6-3 double play. And the Cardinals get out of the inning with some great and flashy defense. And after 6.5 innings of play, it's the Angels 6 and the Cardinals 5. Leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 7th is Ray Langford. He'll be followed by Todd Zeile and Mark Whitten. And that's a foul tipped off of the catcher. And that's strike 1 to Langford. And that's a high, deep drive to right center field. And Tim Salmon's under that, makes the catch on the warning track for the first out. Langford thought he was tying the game with that one. Not quite enough. So there's nobody on, 1 out for Todd Zeile. And Zeile hits a long drive deep to left center field. And another great catch. This one is made by Jim Edmonds for out number 2. It's 2 outs and nobody on. Mark Whitten. Grayhe's cruising so far, 25. And that is a line drive ripped over D. Scarcina's glove, and it goes into left field. And Whitten's on with a 2-out single. So Witten's on first base, 2 outs, and Geronimo Pena. Pena hit a 3-run home run his last time up. Got the Cardinals back in the game. Let's see what he can do here. But this time, he hits a towering fly to left field. Easy play for Jim Edmonds. He's under it, makes the catch for out number 3. And the Cardinals get a man on base, but they leave him stranded there. And after sending 7 innings of play, it's the Angels 6 and the Cardinals 5. Top of the 8th, and leading off for the Angels in the top of the 8th is Gary DeScarcina. He'll be followed by the pitcher's spot, and then back to the top of the order. So it's a 53. And that is a ground ball through third baseman Todd Zeal's legs. And he is safe at first on an error by Zeal. First error of the game. So he's on, that is DeScarcina. He's on first with nobody out. And Joe Grayhe's scheduled up to bat, but it's going to be Chili Davis pinch hitting for Grayhe. Grayhe did his job. And Chili Davis is going to pinch hit for him here. That's Davis. So we got a man on first. Gary DeScarcina reaching on the error by Todd Zeal. And here's Chili Davis pinch hitting for Grayhe. And we are going to Chili Davis's second column. And it is a double to center field. DeScarcina is not a fast runner. He's going to hold at third. So Chili Davis comes through with a double. Moves DeScarcina over to third where he's held up. And we're back to the top of the order. Cowboy Patterson's going to warm up for the Angels here in the top of the 8th. Okay, so we got first and third with nobody out. And Chad Curtis, top of the order for the Angels. 33. And that's a sky to the infield. Geronimo Pena's under it, makes the call and the catch for out number 1. So there's one away. The runner's on first and third. And I didn't bring the infield in last batter, but I'm bringing them in now. So it's first and third with 1 out for Spike Owen. And that is a deep to center field. Runner on third scores the sacrifice fly to Ray Langford. And the Angels pick up another run, give themselves a little room. So that's a sack to 8 for the second out. But that's going to score DeScarcina. And the Angels now lead 7-5. And does Davis move up on that? No, it looks like he holds it first. All right, so a man on first with 2 outs and Tim Salmon. Angels lead 7-5. And that's top to the mound. Nice play by Fabian. Or who's pitching for the Cardinals now? Is it him? Nice play by Hobby, and he tosses over to Greg Jeffries for the third out. So that's 1-3 for out number 3. But the Angels do score a run and increase their lead, and now lead 7-5. Cowboy Patterson's the new pitcher for the Angels. He is a grade C pitcher. With a Y modifier. Okay, so I want to get him into the lineup. Okay. All right, so leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 8th is Tom Pagnozzi, and then the pitcher's spot. The base is empty. These 20-man rosters, you run out of players quick. Okay, so it's Pagnozzi leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 8th. Nobody on, nobody out. And he pops it near the foul line. It's caught by second baseman Damian Easley for the first out. It's one away. It's going to bring up the pitcher's spot. And that's going to be it for Hobbian. So his day is over, and Luis Alicia is going to pinch hit. Alicia going to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 8th with one out. And we're going to Alicia's second column. And that is a ground ball base hit just down the fair line in right field. So Alicia does his job and gets on base. So he's on first with one out. And we're back to the top of the order. And Bernard Gilkey. So man on first for the Cardinals, one out here in the bottom of the 8th. They trailed by 2 runs, 7-5. And we are going to Gilkey's second column. And that is a double to left field. That's going to hold well, let me see. Is Alicia? He is not a. He is a fast runner, so he's going to score. So on Gilkey's double to left, fast runner in Alicia is going to score, and the Cardinals are now down by 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. So Gilkey gets the RBI double. So he's on second with one out. And Ozzie Smith here in the bottom of the 8th. 22, 23. Gilkey tries to steal third, and he's thrown out 2-5. Oh boy. But third baseman Spike Owen jams his finger. And he's going to be out for the next 5 games. 6 games, excuse me. This count is 0-1 to Ozzie Smith. So Gilkey tries to steal third. And is caught stealing by Chris Turner. During the tag, Spike Owen jams his finger. Yep, and he's going to be out for 6 games. Oh, boy. So that's 2 outs for the Cardinals. But Owen has to come out of the game. And who do I have to put it? Oh, boy. Who do I have to put at third base? Okay. Harold Reynolds is going to enter the game. And glad I didn't use him as a pinch hitter earlier. So Reynolds is going to enter the game. So Owens, I got to make a note here. Owens, if the Angels hold on to win, Owens is going to be out 6 games. But Harold Reynolds is going to come in and play second base. And he is an 8. And Damian Easley is going to move to third, where he's a 4. So let's see, we have 11, 13, 15, 20, 28, 32, 40, 42. They're still a fielding 1. They're actually increased their defense by 1 point. Okay, so Harold Reynolds is in for, excuse me, Spike Owen, who's going to be out for 6 games. Reynolds moves to second base, and Damian Easley moves over to third. So the Cardinals have 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 8th, after Bernard Gilkey's caught trying to steal third base. All right, so 2 outs, nobody on for Ozzie Smith. And that curve drops in for strike 1. That's actually strike 2. So it's 0-2 to Ozzie Smith. But he hits it hard near the hole. Second baseman Harold Reynolds, who just came into the game, makes a diving stop, gets up to his knees, fires over to JT Snow, and they just get Smith for the 3rd out. The Cardinals do score a run, and now trail in this game 7-6. And we go to the top of the 9th. The new pitcher for the Cardinals is Omar Oliveira. No, not Omar Oliveras. No. Rene Aroca is coming in for the Cardinals. He is a grade C pitcher as a reliever with Y and Z modifiers. So, Jeffrey's like, excuse me a moment. All right, so it's Rene Aroca, grade C pitcher. With Y and Z modifiers. Sorry this is taking me. I see we're almost at an hour here. But here we are in the top of the 9th. It's taken me a while to get through this game. A lot of runs scored and a lot of bookkeeping. Okay, and I'm a little slow at the game yet anyway. Okay, so top of the 9th, it's Jim Edmonds leading off. And it's Rene Aroca's a new pitcher for the Cardinals. And he's a grade C pitcher. And that is an 8. And that's a chopper past Aroca. And it's into center field for a leadoff single for Jim Edmonds. Here in the top of the 9th. So a man on first, nobody out for JT Snow. Angels lead 7-6. That's a 44. And that is a single into center field. It's going to move Edmonds over to third base. The Angels are in business again with runners on the corners. And nobody out. Rough start for Aroca here in the top of the 9th. Here's Chris Turner. I didn't bring the infield in. And they turn a double play, 3-6-3, but that's going to score the run. So it was a ground ball hit to first baseman Greg Jeffries. He tosses over to Ozzie Smith, and that's my fault for not bringing the infield in. What would have happened if I brought the infield in? Well, he would have got the out at the plate, and it would have been runners on second and third. But here are the run scores to make it 8-5, and double play is turned. So there's 2 outs with nobody on. That was a bonehead play by the so-called manager here for not bringing the infield in. Okay, so 2 outs, nobody on. Damian Easley. And he hits a bounding ball to second baseman, Geronimo Pena. Routine play, tosses over to Greg Jeffries for out number 3. The Angels do get another insurance run and lead 8-6 over the Cardinals. Cowboy Patterson staying out there. He's going to face Greg Jeffries, Ray Lankford, and Todd Zeile with an 8-6 lead. Last chance for the Cardinals. And that's way outside. Ball 4. Leadoff walk. Jeffries on first. Nobody out. Ray Lankford. Score is 8-6 in favor of the Angels. Cowboy Patterson on the mound. Ray Lankford batting. Ray Jeffries at first. Nobody out. And it's a towering fly to left field. Easy play for Jim Edmonds. Jeffries holds it first, and there's 1 away. Cardinals trail by 2. Got a man on first. 1 out, and Todd Zeile. It's hit hard at the shortstop, to second for 1, to first for 2. And this game is over. 6-4-3 double play. That is DeScarcina, 2 Reynolds, 2 JT Snow. For outs 2 and 3. And the Angels defeat the Cardinals and send them home. And the Angels will move on into the next round in the loser's bracket. Game number 9. And they will take on the loser of Game 8, which is the Pirates and the Twins. But that's a bit down the road. We have one more game to do in the loser's bracket before we get back up into the second round of the winner's bracket. But let's get some totals for you here. The Angels had 8 runs on, let's see, 1, 9 hits. They committed no errors. The Cardinals had 6 runs on 1, 2, 3, 9 hits. And they committed 1 error. The winner is Mark Langston. And the loss goes to Palacios for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are the first team eliminated in this Double Elimination Tournament. And the next time we get APBA Baseball on the table, it's going to be game number 6, which will have the number 6 seed Athletics hosting the number 7 seed Cubs. If you hung out with me for this little over an hour, I appreciate it. And I'll be back again in the near future with another video. And until then, take care.